All right, call the Village of Lake Park, December 9th, 2025, council meeting to order. Councilman Jim Record will offer the invocation.
Thank you, Mayor. Lord, we come before you humbly at your time of the year, and we ask you for our blessings as we have outgoing and incoming council members this year. We ask you to bless our first responders and keep them safe. We ask you to bless us to keep those matters as the best as we can for the town. And we humbly request these things for your presence. Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment.
Nobody signed up.
All right. In the packets recent out, you had the minutes from the November 11th regular session. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Mark made a motion, Bruce seconded. All those in favor?
Under discussion, please note, I have a couple of misspelled words. It does not change anything other than I realize I've got some misspelled words. So can we do it as amended? The
Sure.
minutes as amended.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
Make the motion.
Bruce made a motion, Mark seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. No confusion. The agenda was sent out as well. There's been no changes to it that I know of. Are there any requested changes, additions, or deletions to the agenda? We'll come back to the consent agenda. Let's keep it. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as set?
Motion to approve.
Jim made a motion.
I'll second.
Joe seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Backing up to the consent agenda, there's
Seconded.
Joe. A few items on the consent agenda, the reappointment of John Cuisine to PNR, authorize some park maintenance expenses for some swings, and adopt a resolution that was sent out. Anybody want anything pulled from the consent agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Mark made a motion, Jim seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to recognize Councilman Steve Tudor. Steve, we appreciate everything that you've done for the village and the whole community, the community as a whole, throughout your time living here. I know whenever, I think I first met you walking by your house one day, like, here, you Steve Tudor. Yeah, that's me. And we got to knowing each other, and we walked quite a bit together, especially during COVID, when we couldn't really do anything but get out and walk. So anyway, Steve, we appreciate everything that you've done. Council member from December of 2021 to December 2025. PNR January 22 to December of 23, Planning Board Liaison January 2024 to December of 2025, and Ordinance Review Committee December 2023 to 2025. And I saw your post today that you're not going anywhere. We're glad of that.
Yeah,
We're looking for a name on the ballot in 2 years.
we'll see.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Get around the ball. Oath of office. Councilman Wayne Rich, would you come forward with your wife? Just hang on that side. No, we need to. Yeah, that's right. And then Wayne, actually, come here. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Let's do this. It'll be better. All right, there we go.
I think I'm gonna read this to my eyes. I, Wayne Wrench, do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution and laws of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, and I will faithfully discharge my duties of my office as council member, so help me God.
Congratulations, sir. Councilman Richards. All right.
I, Mark Richards, do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authority which are or may be established for the government thereof, that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution and laws of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as council member, so help me God.
All right. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, we will need to elect a mayor pro tem for the next 2 years. As outlined in my email, council does have to first decide whether to do a motion vote or a nomination ballot. And it's totally up to council. We would need a motion for that.
I put a motion that we use motion and vote.
Right. Jim's made a motion, Bruce second, looking for motion and vote. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, the floor will be open for nominations for mayor pro tem for the next 2 years. Is there a nomination?
I put a motion out there for to re-elect Joe as Mayor Pro Tem. He's done a good job these first 2 years and say, let him stay and do another 2 years.
I'll second. All right. Jim made a motion, Mark seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, sir.
Stop for a second.
Oh, you.
Side you going on? All right. I, Joe Scaldera, do solemnly and sincerely swear.
You gotta raise that.
Yeah, I got it, okay. I, Joe Scaldera, do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution and laws of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Mayor Pro Tem, so help me God.
All right, congratulations. All right, item 12, mayoral appointments. I will continue to serve as liaison to the public safety agencies and chairman of the Park and Recreation Commission. No changes there. Councilman Barton will continue with streets and sidewalks. He will also be a member of the ordinance review committee and will continue to help Cherie as needed in the field with stormwater. Councilman Record will co-chair the ordinance review committee as he has been, as well as chair the new personnel and policy committee that was created tonight under the consent agenda. So that's the new committee. Councilman Rich will be a member also of the new committee, personnel and policy committee. as well as serve as the community liaison to the HOA and any other groups in the community that we need to reach out to or partner with. And Councilman Richards continues to serve as Park and Recreation Commission, also as the newsletter publisher, as he's been doing, and serve as the waste collection liaison as well. I talked with several of you about the planning board liaison. Nobody was really wanting another meeting, so Cherise goes to those meetings anyway, so she's gonna bring us back the information that we need to hear from those folks. Just letting you know. Jim?
Question, and I agree with that, for that, with the planning board. But when it comes to waste collection, you know, I've been doing it and being that there, it's really not needed. I mean, a lot of the questions go to Cherie, and she can still continue on as that as well. I mean, what needs to happen is when the contract comes up.
Right. No,
I mean, nothing against you, Mark, I'm just saying.
You just want to strip me from being trash star, huh?
There's just nothing to do, I mean, you can say.
Yeah, there isn't.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all.
I mean, you wanted yours, but I don't think there's anything to do. I think it, like I said, Cherie handles 99% of it. I mean, it's hers. I mean,
They're emailing and calling her, that's for sure.
yeah.
That's
So,
fine. We can strike that in the rest of the meeting.
There's been for quite some time, Jim's been saying, hey, I need something else to do.
yeah,
There's nothing going on.
there's nothing going on there. There's nothing to do.
Doesn't sound like there's much with that.
So that just,
Sure. All right, no problem. We'll amend that.
Sure.
First night.
yeah.
Councilman Scott Air will continue with the ordinance review committee chair, as well as handling lighting, electrical, and clock tower, and our technology also. So, no changes. Sheriff's report, I didn't see Emily today, did you?
Yes, sir. I saw a vehicle, but I haven't seen her.
6 alarm activations, 55 calls for service, 591 preventative patrols, 24 traffic stops, 51 other self-initiated calls. And then Lake Park citations, there were 3 fines and 12 warnings. Most of those parking are, top of your head.
All 3 of them were registrations that have expired. And the cars are being driven, so they're moving. It's not like they're sitting in one location where I can post them and tell them that they have 10 days or they will be towed for parking on the streets. But they have been sent letters telling them that parking on the street will result in towing. So I'm hoping we've not had another citation for any of the 3 since then. So maybe they've gotten them registered.
Ridge Fire Department, 198 calls for service in November, and they say everything over at the new fire station's operating well. They seem to be real happy with how everything's going. Finance officer report, Sharon?
Okay, you have the November financial reports. During the month, we received some money in the ad valorem tax. The amount that we received on November 24th is $12,908. They did not send me the detail, so part of that actually was stormwater. I've corrected it now, but it was, at the time, I didn't have the detailed information. The sales tax is coming in pretty close to what we budgeted at.
And it came in.
I haven't, yeah.
Yeah, I deposited the check today, so
But
it's
no, that's a sales tax refund.
refund. I'm sorry.
This is the
Sorry.
sales tax. Or,
Tax thing.
yeah. Let's see, the pool management fee, there's a negative number. That was a credit, wasn't it, on the
Credit, right.
lifeguard hours?
Mhm.
Yeah. And the reason, in case anyone knows, the year-to-date negative amounts for the state shared revenues electric video programming, that was because I estimate them each year. So that was money that came in for June, but it came in September and it came in short. So that's why we have a negative number there. So, and we did just get a whole lot of property tax money in this week. I haven't finished posting it yet. but this is the time of year that the money comes in. Year to date, we are in a negative state of 528,626, which is normal until, the property taxes come in.
I had asked Cheryl, looking back over previous December meetings, typically the audit was received in December. But I understand the state moved out the dates, so a lot of the auditors aren't finishing in time for us to get December.
think
You
what-
anticipate.
I think what part of it comes from is that the federal government was closed and the federal government makes the rules about the ARP monies. And although we finished spending all our ARP money, that affects how we audit the rules and how things get done. So the, coming from the state treasurer's office, they're behind. And the auditors said that she wouldn't have it reviewed by them yet. She'll have a draft to me this week. And so January should be better.
One of the things that Cheryl was mentioning about that negative in the pool contract fee, just throwing this out there, one of the positive sides of CPM, there are many of them, are, I think, long ago in our contract, it was written that the hours that the lifeguard, that if we close the pool, we don't have lifeguards here for inclement weather or whatever, they track that and credit us back in our contract for those amounts. Not a huge amount of money, but every dollar helps. And, beats having somebody just sitting here for nothing and they can't swim anyway, so just as a piece of information. Cheryl, anything else?
That's all I have. If you have any
Any
questions,
questions?
let me know.
No questions? Cheryl, thank you. Stormwater Sheree, update on the Lake Park Road water main break.
Yes, sir. So Union County has patched the asphalt in front of Connie's Pond that was messed up during the water main break. And they have removed some sediment from the pond, but they were not as successful removing the sediment as they thought they were going to be. So the village has reached back out to them and they're working on additional engineering and suggestions that we're waiting to hear from them. I had requested a 10-year blanket coverage for any issues around that would have been created around the water main break. And Union County Legal came back and told me that they didn't do that. So we're working on it. But that's an update on that. Also, just to let you know, it's not on here, but on Creft Circle, down in the townhomes on the business side, but it's in front of some townhomes. Piedmont Natural Gas was on site, removed one full panel. I'm not sure that it's not two panels. And tore up some landscaping, and that was mid-November, and I've been in touch with the Piedmont Natural Gas supervisor that's over repairs. They were supposed to have it done before Thanksgiving. They're working on it. They were going to pour sidewalk yesterday, and of course, we know it rained. So, but we are staying on top of that, making sure that repair is being made and being made correctly.
They did pour it.
Did they?
Today.
Okay. So I didn't check it today.
I think you reminded that guy Friday based on
You
his,
think?
the way his reply was. I think we were talking to the east side.
My brother-in-law works for Piedmont. He was involved with that. And I heard all about it over Thanksgiving.
Well, you know, sugar will get you a long way, but then the wicked witch can get more sometimes.
Anything else from Stormwater Sheree that's
No, sir.
hanging out over? PNR, the Christmas tree lighting was a huge success. A lot of people out there with different Santa Claus this year. He did a good job. He moved kids through. Nothing wrong with the other Santa, but he just talked a lot, which kids like, and I mean, it's no problem. We were out of there probably 8:30, I think, cleaned up and going in the past. It's been a lot longer than that. And the line for Santa was just as long as, I mean, it was from the gazebo to Meeting Street and and around a little bit at one point in time, so went pretty good. Lori, have you heard anything from Sunny Day and how the vendors thought they did or anything at all?
That night, they said they did pretty well.
Okay.
It looked kind of slow to me, but.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna say that they did well because I'm gonna come back.
Yeah, first year and
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. It was, I did have a lot of people from the community come up and say, I really like this. You know, this could grow and, you know, I just thank them. It's good to hear that they like it. I don't know how much we want it to grow, whatever we're gonna do with the horses and stuff, who are confirmed for next year. So we'll see, but it was a nice difference anyway, I thought, so good deal. Over at Lake Charles, the pier, when Henry was putting up Christmas lights, those stay up. He goes over there and checks them periodically in Christmas time, he checks those lights. He called and said, hey man, you got the roof at the pier is in terrible shape. He said there's holes in it. So I went by and climbed up on one of the back pillars and I could see under the cupola into it. So it needs some work. So reached out to 3 companies, 2 gave me a quote. Metrodon Home Improvements it's a young man who's just started out on his own. He does have insurance. He is in his W-9. He was the lowest quote by about $1,000. So his price his quote also included replacing any sheeting that's needed. The other was plus $95 a sheet or something. So he will be cheaper because it's gonna have to have some sheeting. He also, his quote includes rebuilding the cupola completely, because it's not in terrible shape, but it's eat up some. So $5,900 that we didn't budget, but we obviously have got to put a roof on pier or it's gonna be worse. So we would need to appropriate funds from fund balance to park maintenance, I guess.
I'll make a motion to move $5,900 from fund balance to park maintenance.
I'll second.
Joe made a motion, Bruce second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motions.
Now I'll make a motion to contract Metrolina Home Improvements for $5,900 to repair the pier roof and cupola.
Joe made a motion, Bruce second. All those, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Also, one of the things that we have talked about at a council meeting a year ago, probably a year ago, was the storage out in the garage. It's just slap full. And then we ordered extra Christmas lights this year and snowflakes and grapevine balls that are, the place looks beautiful. I mean, I really think that the grapevine balls and snowflakes added a very nice touch. But we got to store them somewhere. So P&R had bounced around. Does somebody need to rent a storage building? And if so, is that pool league or is it us? Is it the garden club? Because all 3 of those organizations have stuff out there. Most of the stuff on the whole left side is ours. And then we've got all the storage on the racks of Christmas lights. So years ago, Jim brought up flooring the upstairs up there and it could have used it back then. It just didn't happen. I talked to Henry about it first because I wanted to get his take on it. Because to me, it makes the most sense to put the Christmas stuff up there. It's 9 months out of the year, it's not touched. But I wanted to ask him what he thought about, climbing the stairs, if we put in a set of stairs, get up there. And he said, man, I'd love it. He actually mentioned that somebody, it's hard to believe, but maybe not. Somebody goes in there and puts the stuff for Balsam Pond into the Veterans Pond box, and then he has to figure it out whenever he pulls it out. So if it's up in the storage, nobody be up there messing with it. So anyway, I called Metrodon Home Improvements this weekend after I talked to Henry. John Corzine was meeting me down here to get the Christmas Santa Claus box out. And he and I looked at it and it wouldn't take much to do it. And it's kind of a no-brainer. Spend this little bit of money versus trying to rent a storage facility to do anything. So for $930, Metrodon Home Improvements will put in an oversized set of disappearing stairs, and it is an aluminum ladder. I confirm that. And he quoted, John measured and said we needed to do 6 sheets of plywood, which covers about half of the upstairs. So for $930, that sheets where that floor is half of the upstairs and puts in a set of stairs. So I just think for that kind of money, it's kind of a no-brainer not to do. We can cover that out.
That'd pay for itself in a year.
For sure. And then,
Storage.
rent the building, yeah. It's under 1,000, but I wanted to bring it to council since Park and Rec doesn't meet until July 26th. I did talk with Will Ortiz. I'll see.
July?
Yeah, we're going 6 months. January 26th, with Jay's mixed up. But anyway, I would look for a motion to approve $930. Should we have that for motion? We can pull that out of Park and Rec.
Make a motion to approve 900, up to
Call it
$1,000 out
$1,000.
of park maintenance,
Yes.
park maintenance.
Jim's made a motion,
I'll say.
Mark seconded. Any discussion?
I'll just add something in the discussion real quick. I apologize to the swim team. When I first brought this up a year ago, we kind of blamed it on them. But I think a lot of the mess that was made in there was when we had the flood, when we had, not the flood, but the water line that we had to fix. Is probably where it came from, so.
Some of it is, but in all honesty, we need to pick a day
We do need.
and everybody needs to come and go through their stuff, including events. Events need to go through their stuff also, so that because there's maybe stuff that we no longer need, or the last thing we want to do is throw away something that we need, but at the same time, Sarah and I spent an hour out there the other day just trying to get it to where, because we couldn't walk in the room. So, but everyone needs to go through their opportunities out there once we move stuff where we can move around some more.
All right. We vote on that?
No.
Okay, we had a motion in a second. Jim made a motion, Mark seconded. Yeah. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion. And our next meeting is January 26th. We'll begin thinking about our budget, very likely, but we'll be getting that time, so. Planning board should read overview of the November 18th meeting, anything?
Warren Jennings took his oath of office to serve on both the planning board and board of adjustments. And the next planning board meeting is on Tuesday, January the 20th at 7 p.m.
Orders for you, Joe.
All right, well, we'll start off with, last month, we talked about the parking with our restricted parking on Meeting Street. And we discussed with Bruce about getting the signs done. He was gonna call this guy to see what it was gonna cost, and they ended up doing it. And so the signs are already changed. So they no longer say parking at 10 o'clock, it's now 11 o'clock. So we all discussed it, and hopefully everybody's still good with it because the signs are already done. So if that's the case, everybody's okay with it, I'm gonna make a motion to amend section 6IJ2 of the Lake Park General Ordinance to read, no person shall park a vehicle between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. on Meeting Street and on Creft Circle adjacent to the town center unless permitted for special events.
So the only thing that changed in the existing language is just
The 10 to 11, correct.
I'll second that.
Joe's made a motion, Mark seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We got that. Our next meeting is going to be, I think it's
January 19th at
19th,
7
thank you.
o'clock.
January 19th at 7 o'clock. That meeting, we're going to discuss our next steps. We're going to tackle next, probably going to be something with the animal control ordinance and tethering.
All right. Thank you. Waste collection, Jim or Sheree, anything from the month?
I have one thing.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna be trash though.
Okay,
Okay.
All right. Yes, sir. Anything from the month? Sheree,
Better not
any
come
issues?
Well, yeah.
no, we'll be sending out notification that Christmas is on Thursday. So trash will be impacted for 2 weeks in a row because New Year's is also on a Thursday. So both the last week in December and then the first of January will be on, trash will be on Friday, but we'll be e-blasting that out to everyone.
Right.
So just as an FYI.
Streets and sidewalks, Bruce.
Quiet.
Foretold none.
Just working on some signs that, so they just wait to get an answer, see if they can refurbish the one. Right. You have to build another.
Anything electrical, Joe, anything?
No, not much with lighting, you know, quite a few lights out, but they fixed them, they've done pretty good on that, they're still working on trying to satisfy some people that are saying they're too bright. They've got a plan they're coming up with, I know, sure. We're not the only one, they're telling me there's a lot of people that these new lights, these new LED lights that are that real bright white color instead of that softer color, just a little obnoxious, so they're aware of it and they're working on it some. We're getting that taken care of, but everything's turned out good with the Christmas lights. I will note that I have had a lot of people recently tell me how much they like the Christmas lights. As long, I'm only responsible for the part that plugs in. The Parks and Rec did everything else on that. I'm just that, so I'm not taking credit for that. They do look good. You guys did a great job on that.
Ken even commented on the Instagram. He said, he wondered if that was new, and then,
It looks nice.
technology.
All right, technology. We've run into a little bit of an issue with our credit card processor. They're starting to charge us $450 here and there. We don't know why. They can't even really answer. This may be the end of our relationship with Heartland. It probably is. Have you heard any more from Gavin since we last talked, or?
I'm not dealing with Gavin anymore.
Oh, you're above Gavin?
I've been escalated.
Okay. I keep on getting emails from them too. If I'm satisfied, I say no.
Yeah.
So we're more than likely going to be moving on, and hopefully we can get that going soon. I think we have plenty of time, so we'll figure something else out so that we can still do that. And just so you know, in case anybody was following with me on it, Heartland is the company that's the credit card processing that we've used for the pool last year. It was a hit. It worked out really good. People really enjoyed being able to pay by credit card, but just the processing end of it. But we'll have something figured out for that.
They essentially got their 4%, and then they tacked on just recently something they call an infrastructure fee, but they can't tell you what really that is. So $450 on two different accounts, so $900, and they collected about $9,000, so they get 10% more of, if you're just doing round numbers, they got 10% more of the income, which is not what was, it's not even in, Gavin told her, no, it's not in the contract.
Well, I kept looking, I said, show me where that says, because it says that you can, like the master charge or American Express or Visa percentage could, fluctuate.
Right.
But it doesn't talk about any kind of miscellaneous fee. So, two of the accounts that they notified us that were going to be charged, we had 3 accounts. We're not going there, but at the end of the day, 2 of them, they wanted to charge $499 each on for this infrastructure fee. And if we didn't want that, we had to notify the company. Well, those 2 have been closed. But they withdrew from one of the accounts, they took $450 out of our account that we are in the process of getting back. So right now, the only credit card account we have is the one on the website. But Joe and Sarah and I are exploring options because the reason we had to change companies originally was because there was no handheld device with our original carrier. So we'll figure it out.
We'll be able to change. And I do have one other thing to put on here in technology to move on though from that is we're learning some options with the website, and we're going to have to get on to first off the options that I'm talking about with the website boil down to 2 different things that we have to deal with. One is we're getting to the point where 2027 sounded like it was real far away, but it's not as far away now, and we're going to have to make our website ADA compatible or compliant, excuse me, by that date. So we're gonna have to start working on that real soon. And they do have, basically our system that we use that the eBlaster sent out on is an ancient design. And they have much different programs. I don't know how much more of it is going to be usable for us, but it works, it can do push notifications, text notifications, email notifications, all different amounts sent at different times, automatically sent. So we're probably gonna have to change eventually anyway. So we're gonna look into what's gonna be done with that. And we'll let you know on that next month. We're gonna be setting up hopefully a telemeeting with them after the first of the year to check and see what's going on and move on from there.
Thank you, Joe. Special project updates, update on the review of council code of ethics, forwarded out, or Sheree forwarded out the newest version of the social media / code of ethics that Ken put together. If you have time to look at it or not, it's real inclusive. Ken, any thoughts or?
No, other than I tried to marry the things that were going on into one area instead of it being all split up. And it should be reviewed by everyone. I think that you and I had a discussion, and I didn't think about this, but I think it fits pretty well with your new committee creation to review it and determine whether or not they would want to administer any changes to it or additions or deletions. There were a lot of things that I took out of the older policies that if another set of eyes look at it, maybe they want to include them. I found them, I thought, to be not applicable, and I didn't see them being applicable in the future, because a couple of those policies were generated off of templates from the school of government or the league. And some of the ones I was using, some of the larger jurisdictions still use those themselves, but with tweaks and things like that. So I tried to do the best I could to create something that would be, presentable and perhaps something to consider as a supplement, not a supplement, but as a replacement for those policies that currently exist.
Jim probably be one of the first, since it's up forth and prevalent, just for you guys to look at first.
Okay.
Just so the community knows, the committee that was created tonight is a personnel and policy committee with a set of guiding documents that essentially their task is going to be to pull together all of our existing policies that we have, look at the state and see what policies we don't have, or we need to tweak, or how old they are, what needs to change. Get them all in one consolidated area, kind of codified, if you will, and then bring recommended changes back to council for approval for changing and readopting.
That's
those
one of the
policies.
things I wanted to suggest, Mayor, and you just did it, which is if the committee wouldn't mind, I think codifying it is the word we'll use, but indexing it, having the table of contents for the policy, I think that's a valuable thing, and I think there's some degree of expectation from that in our legislative directions from the state. So I think it's a good idea to do that. I think it's going to be a pretty laborsome one, but it would be well. I think the result of that will be citizens and the council will be well served by.
One of the things when I was talking this over with Jim, I had kind of threw this thing together and bounced it off of Ken and Sheree as well. And then I reached out to Jim because he's talked about this very thing a few times. And it's just needed. It's just not that we've done anything wrong. It's just that it can't hurt to get it all together where it needs to be in one central location, push a button, see what's here or there.
And know if you have it. I mean,
Right,
how many times it's
correct.
come up where I've thought to myself that I feel like I've let y'all down just on my end of things, like, oh God, did we do that? It will serve to stop that from being subject to occurring.
And the other piece of it is with personnel policy, which is fairly new. It's just a couple of years old. Most of it copied from Wesley Chapel, I think, or
No,
we hired a guy. but
we hired a
pulled some stuff.
gentleman that he pulled,
Yeah.
he worked for, did that guy?
COG or somebody.
Yes,
Yeah,
maybe it
somebody.
was COG.
So in their task will also be just to relook back through that, as well as assist council with personnel transition plans that we know are in the future that will come about. I would like to also thank Elizabeth Belmonte. She's going to serve on that committee as well. So Elizabeth, thank you for stepping up and helping with that. Council, I did tell Jim that it is going to be, as Ken just said, it's going to be a pretty labor intensive. It's not a 6-month deal. It's a year probably, or more.
I think it's more than that. When you get into some of these policies, like personnel policies, they're starting to become intricacies of that will take them time, I think.
So I told him, don't be afraid to tap council and say, Mark, hey, I need some help with this policy. Can you help me with it? Or Bruce, I don't know what it could have to do with sidewalks, who knows? But don't be afraid to ask for help, because at this point, it's just 3 of you. If the committee needs to grow, we can certainly amend that resolution and do what we need to do. But I don't want the 3 of you to think you're just dauntingly pushed down with all this work, we can help share it as well. You may notice that there's a piece in the resolution where it says they won't overtax staff, and that's because I don't, they're doing, I don't want to put this committee on them to have to go find the policies and do that. They're doing day-to-day operations while we're working in the background
But you want to break our rules too.
well, a lot of these rules are council rules, to be honest with you, yeah.
But we will certainly be more than willing to also do what we can to help,
No,
to help you.
Mayor, we can do that if we need to. Do we need a motion and vote for Elizabeth, or is that covered under Mayor?
Because that's going on a committee, I think we would need to
I
do a
think it's,
vote.
I'm always in favor of doing that in terms
Sure.
of cautionary. Do I know the direct answer? I don't. What I'm telling you.
No,
It wouldn't hurt to do it then.
It's not gonna
Right.
hurt. It ain't gonna hurt anything.
I'll make a motion to appoint Elizabeth Belmont to the newly formed, what do we call this committee? Ethics and
Personnel policy.
Personnel Policy Committee.
Joe made a motion, Jim second. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Also, just once y'all decide when you're gonna have your first meeting, which I'm assuming is after Christmas.
Christmas Eve, wasn't it? I thought it was Christmas Eve, yeah.
You
New
need,
Year's
you
Eve.
need to make sure that you give me a week's notice on that, because all of your meetings
I'll put
will
it
have
up.
to be publicized. And then once you establish what your schedule is gonna be, if you're gonna meet once a month or, whatever, I just need 7 days so I can make sure, because it is a public meeting.
And I just wanna make sure it's personnel and policy committee, right?
Yes.
Not personnel.
Personnel and
policy,
policy.
And, right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's an important
Yes.
word to have in there.
All right, thank you, Ken, for work on that.
Oh, sure.
Discussion and distribution of the villager, this has came up several times, kind of informally. I think we've discussed it at least one meeting in the past year, about what is the need, is there a need to continue to print and deliver the villager, every month? I think a lot of places, all this kind of stuff has gone to the most digital, and newspapers are out of business now, essentially. One of the things, actually Steve might have brought this up at one point in time, one of the things that I told him was, there are obviously people in our community who still want the piece of paper and need it, who don't get on computers or can't get on a computer, or don't have a computer. And they want their paper to be able to read it, so I wouldn't wanna cut anybody out. Just a kind of a thought in my head is if we go to electronic distribution, we would advertise that in the villager for X amount of time with a caveat or, the ending sentence says, call the office, and we put on a mailing list, and then we'll mail those people. I personally felt it's probably 20 or 25. I told Cherie, she probably knows the name, and she said 50 to 75. It may be that high, but even at that,
I would say about 75 would be, just based on my dropping them
Yeah.
off, and, 'cause like a lot of times I'll take them up to certain people.
'Cause you know,
Or
yeah,
just
for them to
have a
get
hard
out,
time
yeah.
getting out to the mailbox.
You ever put one in a mail slot and still the old one's still in there?
And do what about
You ever
those?
put one in the slot and the old one the month before is still in there?
One of the things about going digital is it can be bigger, but then you gotta worry about that if you print, if you.
Still so few copies that you're printing, and we wouldn't have to go to a printer either. It's
No,
right
it can be
out,
done.
so.
Print here, so, just discussion point, any discussion thoughts?
No, I think it's a good idea. You can expand it, make it bigger. I think at times, I know sometimes you're looking for, what do I gotta cut? How do I make it because of space? But now you don't have space problem. you'd still be printing on 8.5 by 11, right?
Yes,
So, yeah, you can go to 3 or 4 pages, no big deal, and staple and.
You cut it one side.
no, I'll print them on both sides.
Bruce, you thought?
Not a bad idea. A lot of times you drive around the neighborhood, you see these villagers are still sticking in the newspaper slot. People don't even take them out.
You can do color too, right?
Yes, but they don't get color. Nobody's getting color. Costs money. That costs money. Come on.
Well, you could do the web version in color.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could print out black and white, you could do that.
I mean, it's 78 cents for a stamp and you've got an envelope and a label. Come on.
Wayne, any thoughts?
If it's cheaper, it's better.
Is that Steve? I'm sorry.
You gotta say Mark, yes, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, we pay, we're not supposed to tell anybody this, I'm just kidding, it's public record. I think we pay Mark $110 a month to deliver it, plus the printing it, and then somebody's gotta drive and get it.
200 a month for the whole printing and delivery.
Right now, currently it's right at 200, but we've also been noticed that they're gonna go up.
So you're talking 20
Slightly.
cents a house.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if we're spending 200 and we send 50 of them,
you save money.
for sure. You send 75 of them. you save money. Yeah, so. How long do we think we need to advertise it in the Villager and Steel Delivery?
I think do 1 month and it's fine. I mean, you're gonna, well, I know you're sticking up your fingers with 3, and I'm sure you wanna think 3, but if you do it 3, people are still gonna say in the 4th month, why am I not getting it? It doesn't matter how long we tell them, and we all know that, we've been doing this long enough. It doesn't matter how long we tell people we're not gonna do it, at the last month. When the first month we don't do it, they're gonna be saying something about it. That's what it gets out.
1 month at this time of year.
Yeah,
Can't do, well, it would be January would be the first, would be the last one, and that we can advertise it.
Then whoever likes to get it, they can call you in January and say, where's my thing at?
that's true.
You get right on the list right there.
We can. I would say at least 2 months, but if y'all wanna do 1 month, I get the.
If it makes you happy, I'll split the difference with you and say 2 months.
I just think January, people are coming off of Christmas, they're getting it at the end of the month. I can see it getting, until they need something from it, they're not necessarily gonna read January. So
2
that
months?
was my thought.
2 months. I'll go 2 months.
Everybody go?
Let's do a month, skip a month and then second month, really,
No, they don't think it's still coming.
So,
They just crowd.
You can't win, either way.
so
You're gonna
we're
be-
gonna need to drive as many people, not only do we need to put in the newsletter that we're going digital, to call the office to be put on the mailing list if you want the paper copy, but we're also really gonna have to push e-notify, and the fact that from e-notify, they can receive it directly in their email box as opposed to having to go to the website. They don't even have to look for it. It will automatically appear in their email that they can just, simply click on it and read it.
By chance, do you know how many? Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it might be better just to not send people to e-notify for this particular situation, for the newsletter, because these people are not really savvy with it anyhow, just with the computer, just basically contact you, because I want it on, in other words, put the little saying in the Villager saying we're not gonna be, it's gonna be digitized, it's not gonna be hand delivered starting in March. So between now and then, please contact the office to get on the mailing list, rather than sending them to the website, which they're probably not wanting to do anyhow. Just
Well,
an idea.
you've got two different markets. You've got the population that
Yeah,
does not have a computer at all. And then you've got a population that just has never signed up for e-notify, that they can get it in their email.
but by doing it this way, to sign them up, it reaches both those parties.
I don't want everyone calling me.
I'll grant you that, or they can send you, well, I can't send an email, which I can't send one of the parties. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with doing it. We certainly need to lay it out, just like you said, of call the office.
And
put on
just try to see
mail.
what happens.
To be put on the mailing
But at the
list,
same
yes,
time,
absolutely. But then you also need to do, if you want to receive it in your email as part of the electronic distribution, the only way they're gonna get it electronically is to sign up for e-notify.
Or it's on the website.
I think what Mark's
Or
saying,
it's
though, is
on
the
the
people that get
website.
the e-notify isn't gonna notify the people that are gonna need it, the paper copy,
Right,
because
that's-
if they get the e-notify,
Right, no,
it
no,
doesn't
no, no.
matter.
If you had their name and their,
Thank you.
I get what you're saying.
Okay,
There's two populations. One who has no electronics, they need to get it by mail.
Yes.
Doesn't know that.
And the other one
Doesn't know that.
can say, who has electronic, you're gonna say, look, if you wanna grab this, we can email it to you, but sign up for e-notify and we'll email it to you, or you can see it on the website.
For 4 years, I
Yes.
know.
yeah,
But this may push them to finish it.
we're right at 550
Yeah, probably
people
something.
on e-notify currently.
That's what I was gonna ask about.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe the new system, you can just get it, sent right to their TV.
Probably. All right, is there a motion to deliver the bill for 2 more months and then go to digital distribution with the caveat of still mailing when needed?
I'll make that motion.
Jim made a motion,
For a second.
Bruce seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item C, social media and ethics policy violation complaints. This is on the agenda at Councilman Scaldero's request, so I'll turn it over. to you.
Well, I just wanted to withdraw my complaint that I made. Councilman Richards and I figured out a resolution, and I no longer wish to pursue my complaint. So I have to formally withdraw.
Thank you.
Item D, discussion of social media communication. This comes about, council, you received my email Sunday or Saturday, I'm assuming everybody got it and read it. For a number of years, the village official page has cross-posted on, for lack of better words, I just call it David's page and Mark's page. And it's just happened. In recent months, recent weeks, there was some restriction of the official page on Mark's page. And I couldn't really figure it out. I was trying to post a garbage post and then a happy Thanksgiving post. And he was out of town, I was out of town. We, finally communicated and I realized that the village was on post approval required. So if the official page posted to Mark's page, it had to go to administrator to approve the
Now you
post.
just approve it or deny it.
Yeah, for him to either approve it or deny it. And I asked him to remove it. I just felt like that was, I don't remember the word I used, felt like it was kind of an egregious move to block the village from posting, the official page from posting on his page. And he and I went back and forth for a few days, and then on Monday of last week, we were both still traveling, he did remove it. And then on Wednesday, I posted a thing from the sheriff's office, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't post his page, and he and I communicated again, and he said, no, he had deleted that as well. So I just said, Mark, that post from the sheriff's office was simply reminding people to look out for their packages on the porch. I said, do you just not want the village to post on your page? I mean, if that's what you don't want, then you need
Then I said,
to let's say it. And Mark said, can I send you an email tonight and we'll talk? So I said, sure. So the email that Mark sent is the one I forwarded out. In very early on discussions with Mark, I was given some examples from my mind of why I thought the village should be able to post immediately to his page, I think it's a well-known fact that Mark's page is probably the most liked, the most active Facebook page group, whatever you want to call it, in the village. So it reaches the most people in the timeliest manner. And I think it's great. But in my mind, if we're on post approval, if somebody walks away from the retirement home, or if a kid gets lost, or there's a lockdown because of whatever's happening in the community, if I'm a community member, I want to be told that as quick as I could.
Yeah, you made a valid point with a lost child or somebody escaping from the
Right.
convalescent center or whatever. That was very legitimate, yeah.
So he removed the post removal, and then we talked Wednesday, and then he sent the email. And his email said, what you read was that he did not want the village, the official page, he did not want it to post on his page anymore unless it was an emergency type situation that it directly involves the safety of the residents,
Yeah,
essentially.
they went above and beyond the two things you brought up.
Yeah, he said, you brought up, I think you called them old folk, and I might have said that. He brought up somebody wanted away from the old
I
folks.
think I knew that.
And then he said, a few other things might be if law enforcement activity needs to be notified. basically it said it, village can post on there if it's an emergency. So I wanted to be sure, I wanted to make sure that our community knows if they don't see us posting on there, that's why we're talking about this. That's the reason why, is because that was requested of the administrator.
And just to add to that conversation, I pretty much have transferred or shared everything that's been posted on the official page over to mine regardless, so. I'm happy with that particular way of doing it, but up to you guys. Well, it's not up to you guys.
No, it's not up there, it's not up to us, because your email said I get to choose, so, yeah, so it's not up to us. Anyway, questions, thoughts, comments, anything?
That's what it is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And
What else can you say?
he controls that page.
I mean, the official page was not even a member of mine until 2 years ago. So it's like for the first 6.5 years, it was able to operate without it. And the village is still getting the same information as if you did it. So I don't see where there's gonna be a problem with the village at all. It's just a question of who posted it. I used to be able to post it, but no longer, because I'm no longer community, whatever it is, liaison or whatever. So therefore, if I'm not posting it, I'm still gonna post it, just my way of posting it, by sharing it. The village is getting the same information. They got the Christmas pictures and stuff that were put on there by the village, et cetera, et cetera. I think I've posted shared everything since, whatever.
Well, Mark, it's clear you're very proud of your Facebook page. I mean, you should be. You've done a really good job with that. You've built up, you've engaged with a lot of residents. People enjoy going to your page, and they talk, they socialize a lot on there. And I don't want to take anything away from you with that, because you've done a good job on that. I don't like the fact that the village not being able to do that, because the village has counted on that for the last, like you said, the last 2 years. The village has really counted on having that page as a way for us to additionally to reach out and talk with residents or alert the residents. Now, our, when I say page, but yours is actually a group, correct? Is that a group, or
You what now?
is yours considered a Facebook group or a page?
A page.
It's a page, and then,
It's a group page.
a group, yeah, it's a group, you join the group. The page that the village has is just is a page, and it's an open public page. And we restrict it to where nobody can post on it themselves.
Right.
They can only reply to certain posts that are on there. So that makes a big difference. For some reason, with Facebook, the groups do get more pushed through people's feeds than the pages do. So it works better engaging with people doing that. So I've always thought that was a good way to do that. But if we're gonna put ways in here that limit our information, or that, can limit or slow down our information to get out, I think we need to explore other options. And we have other pages out there that we can utilize to do that, and to get through without being censored on what we post. Again, it's your right to do that. Okay, I'm not saying anything bad about it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to, say it. I understand it's your right to do that. It's your page. You can do what you want, and I fully agree with you and understand that. I just I personally don't think that's the best way to handle for what this information is. So I think we should just basically the village use our other avenues that we can to build up to where we can get more usage out of our own page and get more sharing out of it, which is, what we were kind of hoping from the start that we would do. And it's harder on that page because it's harder to engage with people.
Yeah, it really is.
Because of that.
And any page is set up like that.
And, and we do that for a reason, because we just can't have somebody in the middle of the night just jump on there and post something on there. So we've got to use other avenues in order to get our words out and to do that. So, like I said, I move that we don't post on that page. Mark can share the stuff that he shares off it. We can't say you can't hit a share button. Okay.
Yeah, I'll share it. But, I mean, you can still go on my page and comment or whatever the case may be, or carry on that particular post that's yours, so to speak.
So I say that we move in that direction. Mark can do his stuff on there that he wants to. We move into the direction where we can post on the other pages how we want to at our will. Mark can share over whatever he wants. But I will say that there's been a lot of confusion, and I know, I understand, I know you put more disclaimers on there, and you've worked at trying to tell people that, hey, this is not the official page. You put your, official, unofficial banner on there, but it's surprising how many people don't read that, or don't read anything, you
I
know.
was surprised the number of people that comment in the post and they don't read the other comments.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
one right
you're
above and right below.
exactly,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so people don't look at all that, so, I mean, we've got to limit the confusion of that and go from there, so, I see that the village just, comes out and says that what we're gonna start doing, because, it is gonna be weird when people don't see our posts on there as much on Mark's page, but we come out and
Well, I
publish.
disagree with that because in the last 2 weeks, I've basically shared pretty much every
Well,
post.
sure.
And I don't see cutting that down much. I mean, if you guys post an official trash post and I do my normal thing that I've been doing for 8.5 years, I don't want to see yours there. So basically, that's.
Well, I understand, you don't want the redundancy on there, I understand
Yeah,
that,
and everybody that asks a question on my particular page and says, hey, Mark, I don't want you guys coming in there answering every one of them before I even wake up, or whatever the case may be. I don't get-
But now, I would just say this, I'd say this, Mark, I want you to think about what you just said as a council member. If somebody says, hey, Mark, because they say that because they know it's your page, and they've got a question about whatever it might be, a village question, and what you just said is you don't want us, you don't want the village.
But I'm not
coming in there
saying
answering.
never, I'm just saying I mean,
Well, it's never whenever you tell us we can't post to your page, though.
Huh?
It's never when you say we can't post on the page, it is never.
well, it's never, well, if your post is coming on my page, what is the problem? If I'm sharing it.
I'm asking you,
Hmm.
based on what you just said, if somebody comes on there and says, hey, Mark, what time's Meeting Street closing tomorrow?
Well, there were a couple of times right after all the blow up we had, that people were answering those things off the page by sending whatever their answer was directly to them. And then when I answered it, they said, oh, that's all right, blank already got it. I'm not gonna mention any names, but it's like, well, that's kind of strange. It just kind of cut out the whole page and go answer the question. And I mean, it's like, I didn't really care for that a bit. And it's somebody that I wouldn't expect to do that. But that's one of the problems I had with that. As long as I'm sharing your post on my page, I don't see where the town is getting hurt in any way. And if there's an emergency, you're free to make that post.
Other than the town can't engage with people the town can't engage with.
The popularity of my page has nothing to do with this. I mean, the town's got their own site.
That's
My
all I'm
page is
saying is that's what we
blank.
need to utilize, we
You
work
make a
with that.
motion, you said-
Yeah, I'll just make a motion that the village no longer post or share anything on the village.
You can't stop me from posting, sharing.
No,
a post.
I'm not saying you, I'm talking the village official. They no longer post on the page. And we use the other resources that we have to us. We can use the Village of Lake Park, residents of Village of Lake Park page, the Lake Park NC page, the Lake Park Master HOA page, all depending on what needs to go out. And where we use that page along with our other official village channels, we use that. I'll make that motion.
Your motion is to notify.
What
people
exactly
that-
is the motion again?
Okay, well, the motion is to no longer post on your page like you requested us to do. Or share anything on your page, to notify the village residents of the updates. That we will be sharing information on the residents of the Village of Lake Park page, the Lake Park NC page, and the Lake Park NC Master HOA page.
So doesn't the Lake Park NC page still have to do a name change because
What do you
that's
think?
not an official page? And you are the admin of it, and so is David Cleveland. You keep calling it David's page, but it's actually both your page.
And let me just tell you this right here. I'll tell you right now, I can call David Cleveland. I don't think either of us have a problem in the world changing it to whatever y'all want, but are
I'm
we
just
gonna?
saying, if you're
Yeah.
making me do it,
Nobody, who made you change your name?
I didn't make you change your name, and I mean, you
well,
did change the
I changed
name.
it, I did, because you guys were worried about it, so I made it Lake Park Connection. Or Village of Lake Park NC Connection. And somehow that wasn't quite good enough.
I don't think it solves anything of any confusion. But, I mean,
in one of your
I
emails.
realize we
Well, part
can't.
part
I
of
asked you
the
to
thing
do
that
it.
we, part of that complaint and everything was, we needed to come up with another name, Connection wasn't good enough,
Well,
am I right?
I thought that doesn't clear up any confusion. I know you refuse to admit this, but I know there's a ton of people that think that that's the official page. They do. They think that. I've heard that from all kinds of people during the election. I heard it from one person that's an attorney.
I'll bet you there are some people that are like that.
And, you know, you have your disclaimer and you do also have to check off on it, like you said, when you join the page, but there's a lot of people that have joined it before all
And I
that
put
too.
it on my comments sometimes, and if you join the page, it's one of the rules that you see, that I am.
I don't personally, if it was to make me 100% happy, okay, if you're doing something to make me happy, which I'm not asking you to, because I know I can't make you do it. But I would think that the best way to have it is to make it Mark Richards Lake Park page or Mark and Wendy's Lake Park page, because that's essentially what it is. It's your page, it's your opinions, your attitude that you're editing and censoring. To me, that's the perfect solution to it. And I don't really see a problem with it. I don't think anybody would think any less of it being that. But that would clear it up 100%.
Village of Lake Park NC residents
Well,
page.
I mean, that's what that one page says, residents of the Village of Lake Park, and I think that's very clear that it's the residents there. To me, when you add a connection to it, to just me, myself, and you add a connection to it, it makes it sound like that page is your connection to the village.
Okay, I'll change it
Yeah.
to residents, Village of Lake Park NC residents page. Would that make you feel better? And that's fine with me, I mean, I have no problem with
The
it.
other page in reverse, but.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
But back, there's a motion on the floor, we'll come back to that. But to David's page, I don't have any problem changing the name, and I don't think David would. David made me an administrator whenever he retired as mayor. I do very little on that page, me personally.
Yeah, personally, I don't care what you do with that page. whether it
No, I
says that.
agree, but I'm just saying, I don't think there's any problem. We can come up with the name of that page. I don't see that as an issue at all.
Yeah.
You wanna restate your motion?
Wait, hold on, Wendy was raising her, Wendy, do you have something to add?
Said that too fast.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I really can't remember what I was gonna say,
Okay.
except that it is very clear when someone signs up, there are rules, and they can't get away without reading it. Plus, it says on the main page, this is an unofficial site. I don't know how much clearer we can make it, but I also don't think that you should have the right to name our page.
Well, I agree, and I've stated that, and I told Mark several times that I'm not telling you, I can't tell you. I'm just offering my opinion on this. I didn't even bring this part of this conversation up.
Yeah.
This was nothing into this that I brought up in this conversation.
So, yeah, that's fine.
So, yeah, I agree. I don't have the right to tell you what to name your page. I'm only stating what I thought
Yeah,
and what I
that's fine.
feel.
Yeah,
And that's, yeah.
no problem.
So I'm asking this question, hearing everything going on here. I know you say this is an unofficial page or something on the
Oh,
bottom.
it is.
What if you put in the title, the unofficial Village of Lake Park?
I have it on the front page.
I know, you have it up, but I mean, put it right in the title instead of it saying.
How long do you want my
Village of Lake
title to be, a paragraph?
Park. I'm just saying, add the unofficial. I'm just suggesting. That's all I'm
There
doing.
are people, if I put a comment, put the disclaimer on every comment that I made, they still would think whatever they want to think.
Okay.
mean,
I'm just listening and I'm saying,
Yeah, that's
you're
fine.
saying unofficial on it, what if you just put it in the title? That's all.
Before I answer your question,
If you don't wanna do it, I'm fine with that.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like, here's a disclaimer, and before I answer your question, please, basically comment back that I know this is an unofficial page, and then I'll answer your question. I mean, that's about the only way I can possibly take care of that situation. If I second Joe's motion, can we move forward?
We certainly call for the question. Joe made a motion,
I'll second.
Wayne seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. All right. The item D, discussion on adjusting council meeting time to 6:30. We're doing this so we can talk about social media next month. I'm just kidding. We had talked several months back about possibly adjusting the meeting from 6 to 6:30, just so, because we do have longer meetings than we used to have. I think I have talked with everybody except for Wayne, and Wayne, I apologize. So you have any thoughts on moving the meeting to 6:30? Does that hurt you professionally or anything? Ken, you told me you were
Yeah,
willing.
I can do it, sure.
Anybody against it?
I'll be up by then.
I checked in the charter to make
I could.
sure
Oh, yeah.
that there was not a time listed and there's nothing, so you can do that.
Is there a motion to adjust council meeting times to 6:30?
I make a motion to adjust council meetings starting in January to start at 6:30 instead of 7.
Jim made a motion,
I'll second.
Joe seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Shoot, you already put that, you already published meetings schedule?
I have, so I'll have to, I have not posted them anywhere yet.
We have to
That was gonna be
approve the
But
schedule,
they
so we'll have
approved
to
them in
amend it.
November, so we need to rescind that motion, or we need to modify it.
You amended, I think,
How about I make a motion to amend the village council meetings schedule to signify 6:30 start time as opposed to 7?
Second.
Joe and Jim did it reverse. That suits you.
yes, and it includes a directive to, publish it pursuant to North Carolina, notice of meetings laws. right?
Yeah, what he said.
I didn't write it
Public
very well,
meeting law.
so, yeah, public- what he said.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries.
Okay, just on that topic, real brief while I'm thinking about it, next month, we're meeting on a Monday night. And so it'll be Monday night at 6:30,
I think that's the 12th.
the 12th, yes.
Where are we doing that again?
Somebody can read here. I don't know who it was.
First, probably you.
So I can't remember. Community information report, Wayne?
But the only thing I have to add, that maybe everybody doesn't know, is the HOA did have their annual meeting last week. For the first time in recent memory, we came dangerously close to meeting quorum, but we did not, so. There are still 3 vacant seats, so anyone interested can jump right in.
All right.
And the Buckeyes play on New Year's Eve.
All right. Newsletter information, we got tomorrow.
I guess Sheree and I will get together on that particular thing about the villager delivery. type
Yes,
stuff.
sir. We also have, we are now selling 2026 fishing permits.
Fishing permits, all right, so soon, all right.
And it's time to purchase 2026 golf cart.
I was gonna tell you, I was gonna do that, and, I should have brought that up in an ordinance, if we're gonna get those coming.
So is it good for
Yes, sir.
January?
Technically, we could have started on December 1st.
Right, but we haven't. So,
Guys, somebody has a new golf cart they gotta register, so.
yes, I had a conversation with that person and they decided that they would wait until January. Because I don't have any stickers.
Are the fees prorated, just out of curiosity, are the fees prorated if they
No,
join?
sir.
No, it's all.
I don't care if you
Oh, yeah.
join January or if you join in November,
That person was me.
pay the lady.
We did, when we made the ordinance, we specifically started the next year on December 1st. So that you could actually, if somebody got one for Christmas, they could actually register it without having to pay $25 for 2 weeks or a week.
Yeah,
So they
gotcha.
could do that.
Okay, golf, and then what else? Anything?
No, as long as you've got fishing permits and golf carts,
You're good then.
then,
And villager delivery?
villager delivery. And we will want to make sure we publish that council meetings will start in January at 6:30. So there'll be a big time change, so we need to really notify everyone.
Somebody didn't show up at 6 for it, so.
Yeah, he was here at 5:30. He was ready.
Anything else for good on everything else? I've got one piece of information, or I've got one thing to bring up that just happened late this afternoon. Had a call from, someone who is kin to a county commissioner candidate, asking if the village, if they could use the gazebo, rent the gazebo, do whatever, and have a kind of a meet and greet of folks that are running in the upcoming primary, the primaries in February, it's in March, I think. And then the regular election, I believe, is in May. So it kind of got me thinking of that I know of, we've not had anybody ever asked that before. Sheree, have you in your time had,
No.
other than local folks want to come out and meet our people? I talked to Joe just very briefly about it because he called me when I was hanging up with a young lady. And he suggested if we went down that road, just open it up. Let's just just publish an event, and anybody that's running, obviously nonpartisan, we're not supporting anybody. We're just saying the candidate meet and greet in Lake Park on X day at X time and go from there. So Lori is our event coordinator. I called her to see what she thought, because the young lady did ask about the possibility of having one food truck and a coffee truck. So I said, if you go down that route, it's usually easier. We know who's got COIs already. We know who we've used. Would you mind if we kind of go that way if council wants to allow it? And they were fine with not just being their group that they're running, whoever. Lori did talk to the Board of Elections, who said as long as it's nonpartisan and open to everybody, that, there's nothing wrong with what we would do. So they are asking for January 24th. It's going to be cold. They just wanted a couple hours, 3 to 5. It probably, let's just be honest, it's probably 2 to 6 time. You have some setup time and some tear back down time. Close Meeting Street. Let Lori work out bringing in a food truck and a coffee truck or whatever. And anybody that's going to be on the ballot down here wants to come out and meet and greet our people, let them do it. Is there anybody see any downside?
What are you gonna do about restrooms?
About what?
Restrooms, potties.
We should be able to hold it for 2 hours.
Well, no, the village, Waste Pro owes us X amount of events that we sponsor to bring.
I'm just saying, so are we gonna need porta johns for that, or we?
I mean, I didn't think about it, but if we got events built in that we don't use
Yes,
with them,
yeah.
so I don't see anything wrong with having them bring us some.
Okay, at least
Do
one.
they have heated?
No,
Maybe lights would be.
go home.
I would make sure you find sufficient mechanisms to make sure that anyone who would fall within the category of candidates you're opening the meet and greet up to has been provided with notice of the existence it's occurring. I could see the risk of people potentially complaining that they somehow didn't receive notice somehow.
And the Board of Elections said they would provide Lori with an email list of everybody that's registered and possibly even publish the event
No, I used to have ahead of me.
to their, is that correct, Lori? I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna actually, advertise it for us, give me address. I had mentioned that Jeremy may be sending out official invites through the mail in case they don't get their emails, but, I don't know, maybe this might sponsor.
It sounds like y'all are on top of using different avenues for notice.
I don't have any idea if it'll bring in, 10 people or 100 people, and how many of the candidates will really come. Mark Harris lives here in the village, so I'd like to think if he's in town that day, he would show up and at least meet some of his constituents that live right here in town.
How
We
many
have
people
until the
would-
19th,
January
that's the end of
24th.
filing, and then they'll give us and we'll see what we're on.
Right. Anyway, further discussion, thoughts, comments?
No, I like it.
Wayne, anything?
Fine with me.
And
It'll be cold, that won't be that.
It'll be cold, yeah.
that's on January 24th.
24th.
Take care of it.
So you need a motion to allow to sponsor, will be sponsoring the event?
Sponsor a candidate meet and greet.
Okay, for the village to sponsor a candidate meet and greet on January 24th, which includes closing Meeting Street from
2 to 6.
2 to 6. And to allow, obviously, two food vendors.
I would just say vendors.
Who's
don't-
in
charge?
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't-
just in
don't
case.
limit, Yeah.
All right,
If you want to, you gotta invite 3. At least.
invite vendors.
Who's in charge of setting this up and getting the information made for the village?
Yes,
Yes. Okay, I'll give him a call.
Yeah, that covers
We need until the 19th, because we kind of, it's gonna be a week or two, yes. We'll get something to you, because it'll be a good thing to get out. So.
Yeah.
Jim made a motion, Bruce seconded, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Council comments, Wayne, we'll give you the floor, sir.
Okay, well, I thank all of you for being very welcoming and supportive even since the campaign to this moment. Thank you folks for coming, and I guess Merry Christmas to everybody.
Jim, I'll say thank you to Steve for everything he's done. Welcome, Wayne. There's a lot of work in front of us on that committee. And happy holidays to everyone. And see you in January 12th, Monday.
Mark?
Thank you all for coming, and Merry Christmas to all.
Bruce?
And to all a good night. Be safe.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Jim?
Merry Christmas, Wayne. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for wanting to help out here. We appreciate it.
Kim?
Happy holidays, Merry New Year.
Happy holidays.
Sheree?
Just wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and we will see you in the new year. Let me know if you need anything, and
You're taking the rest of my thought?
I wish, but no, sir.
Sure.
I just wanted to share a little bit of information. I don't know if you want to hear this or not, but when I had seen about changing the meeting time, and I asked Sheree, I said, what are your, does it say in your charter or your rules of procedure? And she said, it wasn't in the charter. And apparently y'all do not have rules of procedure. And I was just looking it up, and the school government recommends that city councils have suggested rules of procedures. They have a book that you can get, and you can, customize it for your town and all. And actually every board, like a planning board, should have their own rules of
Well, we do.
procedures.
Planning board.
Do they have that? Okay.
Yeah, planning board.
But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out to you.
No, I think it's a perfect example. Now, I will tell you that we do have a set of rules and procedures that are very antiquated, that a councilman and ex-councilman's wife dropped off, that we do not follow because it doesn't follow Robert's rules for motions and seconds and all that. It's, anybody can make a motion and there's not a second required. So it's very antiquated. I probably have the only copy that exists, I imagine. But it's a perfect example of what we need from the committee on paper, so that we have a place where we can go see it, that mimics what we really do, or that we mimic back to it what we should be doing. So that's an absolute great point.
When I was at Wesley Chapel, we had some contention on our council, and we went through the rules of procedure should help minimize that contention, because it gives everybody's working from the same book, and you don't have to use Robert's Rules of Order.
Right.
And one other thing that I don't necessarily personally agree with, but the trend is to not require seconds. We kept seconds at Wesley Chapel. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that info.
Thank you.
Otherwise, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas to everyone as well. I would again like to thank Steve for his service and everything that he did for the community. Wish him well in his health too. Sheree, thank you for the dinner tonight, putting that together, picking it up.
Glad it
feeding us.
worked out.
I appreciate it. Food was good. I think we've had a great calendar year. We've got still 6 months left in our fiscal year with a lot of work ahead of us, all the way around. So I do thank each and every one of you. Community, I thank you as well. Take a little bit of time to come out and listen to us. So thank you all. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Mark made a motion, Bruce second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Mark.